On Law Weekly today, lawyers staged protests against the security situation in the country. We have the clips from Ekiti and Imo State. Also on the program today, ahead of his planned arraignment in court, the president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Paul Usoro, responds to allegations of fraud leveled against him. All these and more on this episode of Law Weekly. Hello and welcome to the program. I am Shola Shuyeli. Last week, members of the Nigerian Bar Association in Imo State gathered at the Owerri Branch Bar Center to condemn the gruesome murder of one of theirs, Magistrate Remigius Ogu, whose body was found by the roadside along Amucha Road in Unjaaba local government area of the state. Until his untimely death, Magistrate Ogu presided over the Magistrate Court, Ubulu, in Oru West local government area of Imo State. He was reported to have left Owerri to visit his parents in Unjaaba last week, and on his way back, he was kidnapped. 24 hours later, his body was found lifeless on the roadside.
On the way, he got missing. He was not seen again and all his phones were not going until about early morning, precisely about 6 o'clock. Personally, I got a phone call from someone who told me that the body of a lawyer, whom they cannot identify, was lying in a pool of blood along the road from Nenasa to Amucha to Asia Mobile. I was now mobilizing with my vice chairman, Chidinodu, to move over to the scene. When we received a call that the DPO Umuaka has already contacted members of Ogu's family. And about 6:37, they have taken the body and actually identified him as the body of Senior Magistrate Remisi Ogu Jr. Up to this moment, nobody is aware of the people who killed him because he was actually killed. They shot him at a very close range. There is equally a badge that was hung on his left hand. That badge, we don't know actually the group that owns it, but we believe that that badge may have something to do with the killers. We are urging our colleagues, we are urging the members of the bench. In fact, I want to insist that the bench should not sit until the security agencies bring out the killers of this magistrate.
To match words with action, the lawyers took to the streets of Owerri, the state capital, in protest. Bearing different placards with various inscriptions, they marched from the bar center to the Imo State High Court, where they delivered the message that the bench must boycott the courts until justice is served. From the courts, they marched straight to the Imo State Command headquarters of the Nigerian Police Force, demanding that all security operatives must commence thorough investigations into the killing of the magistrate with a view to unmask the killers and bring them to justice. The group was received by the Commissioner of Police, Dasuki Galadinchi, who promised that the culprits will be found speedily and brought to book.
Investigation commenced in earnest. We recovered the body. We carried it to mortuary. The situation in the state compared to what had occurred last year is very, very calm. But the truth is that we are like Oliver Twist. We ask for more. I promised you that today, even without you coming, assuming some of you, one or two of you, we can take into confidence and show him exactly what you have done with regards to the death of Ogu and with regards to the death of the other young man that died at Wangele. You will have marveled and say, oh wow, how did police arrive as such with the little we have? So please, bear with us, be patient, we assure you of justice. The man that had been killed is one of our own. Injury to one, injury to all. We are going to solve this matter. I promised you before end of this year, we are going to solve this matter. And the culprits will be charged before you in the court of law.
We are saying, give us our peace.
It's now left for the security operatives to also march words with action and bring the perpetrators to book. It's also important that as the festive period approaches, the security operatives in the state must put appropriate measures in place to avert a recurrence. In Ekiti State, southwest Nigeria, the lawyers there are also mourning the mother of their colleague, Mr. Adeola Adebayo, who until his death was the secretary of the Nigerian Bar Association, Ikole branch. On Monday, the 3rd of December, the lawyers decided to boycott all courts in the state for a week. They conveyed the notice of boycott via a letter signed by the secretary of the Joint Committee of Ekiti Bar, Mr. Temidayo Akeredolu. The lawyers addressed the letter to the Chief Registrar, Ekiti State Judiciary, and made copies available to the Chief Judge, all judges, all magistrates, and all customary court presidents in the state.
Yeah, it was a family coming from a function.
The lawyers who said their colleague was first abducted before he was found dead are particularly lamenting that relevant authorities did not respond timeously and effectively. They also lament the fact that the abductors of their colleague killed him despite collecting the ransom gathered and paid by the lawyers and the family.
Yeah, it was a family coming from a function. Some of them escaped, the father, the mother, the wife, and the son. Somehow, they head on to our own person. We are trying to see whether they are kidnappers, they are armed robbers, they are hired killers. We found out later, because they open talk with us, that they are kidnappers. They initially demanded for 100 million naira. Of course, from our end here, we know we couldn't get that. They open talk with the family, we all around, with the family. We were able to raise above 2 million alongside with the family. And we actually took the ransom to them. One of us, able to be an official of the branch, joined the member of the family to take the ransom to them. They took the money from us. They shot our tire after taking the money, and they asked us to proceed to Aramoko to go and pick our secretary. Unfortunately, we were there for more than 48 hours, sleeping inside the bush. A few days later, about 4 or 5 days later, we got an information that they found a lifeless body in between Baraudu and Ibuchi. We informed the security agents, they move in, they discovered it's our man. He was in a very bad shape. Because one strange thing is that we discovered that those people living around the houses seems to know that these people are there. They seem to know that that is their abode. And we have Obas, the traditional rulers, who are there. And no such information has ever filtered to anywhere. We are not happy. Something urgent need be done. We equally Mozafat about the death of a very young man called to bar in the afternoon, murdered in the night in Abuja, who happened to be the first son of former chairman of my branch again. All of them hailing from Imure. So unfortunate.
It is a small, homogeneous community where we know ourselves. So for such things to happen within our community, it makes us uncomfortable as lawyers. Our lives matter. We are law-abiding citizens. When this happened, we rallied round to see what can be done, and we called on the government and security agencies to swing into action to ensure that this man is rescued. But unfortunately, he was killed. we are calling on government and all security agents. Our demand is simple. They should investigate, arrest, and diligently prosecute everybody who is found to be complicit in this kidnap issue. Enough is enough.
But the police say they responded promptly enough when alerted. They, however, complained that the family and the lawyers did not carry the force along when negotiating and paying ransom.
2 vehicles were attacked, and the occupants were kidnapped. There was timely reporting to the police. We mobilized and responded immediately to that distress. Out of 9 kidnapped, we succeeded in rescuing 8, including the lawyer's parents and sisters. We rescued them.
They were saying they escaped.
They do not escape. We rescued them. I'm telling you, we rescued them. It was our firepower. It was the pursuit we placed, and we rescued them. If they paid ransom, it's not to our knowledge. They did not carry us along. If they were discussing with them, they were blindfolded. They didn't let us know. I addressed them yesterday, and they saw reasons in my submission.
Maybe they paid ransom because they...
I don't know.
They assumed...
They did not pay ransom before we secured the... I mean, we rescued the 8 people. They didn't pay a dime. And I challenge anybody, if anybody paid 10 kobo for them to be rescued, nobody was paid anything. We did our job professionally. If you paid the ransom, you know why you paid. But when it came to our knowledge that a dead body was lying somewhere in the bush, we trekked for over 40 kilometers into that forest. Got them. If they had told us they are engaging with them, they are doing this, we would have planned another strategy and got him. But nobody carried us along.
Like in Imo State, the security operatives in Ekiti must also move speedily to unravel those behind this evil act. The leadership of the Nigerian Bar Association has condemned what they described as pervasive insecurity in the country. In a statement signed by the president of the bar, Paul Usoro, the NBA noted that no part of the country is immune from this current nemesis of insecurity. The NBA therefore urged governments and the law enforcement agencies to immediately institute required remediation steps that would protect the lives and property of the citizenry and in the process regain public trust and confidence. The NBA also called for an overhaul of the law enforcement agencies in totality, perhaps by retooling and retraining the personnel in a manner that would strike fear into the hearts of the criminals.